Hey guys, today I'm going to show you around my succulent garden for the month of February, which has been a very hot and sunny month. Currently I have over 40 succulent species, and I'm going to start off with the pygmy felt plant. I like the succulent because of its texture. The leaves are very soft, and even though it's had a lot of sun, they haven't gotten burnt and they don't really change color. So it's handled the, the sun really well. This next one is the Kalanchoe Silver Spoons. I like the minty green color, and the only annoying thing is that ants like to get in the new growth and the tiny new leaves that are growing, so that gets kind of annoying, but other than that, it's a really good plant. There's not much to say about this cotyledon. I just like the color, the purple and the white and the green. Um, but other than that, it's very simple and it just adds a lot of texture to the garden. This is one of my favorite succulents, but unfortunately the new growth has been burnt. You could see it here. So hopefully it recovers soon, but I like it because of the color, the red orangish color that it has. And it's also a good contrast with the Kalanchoe silver spoons right next to it. This is one of the few plants that have bloomed out for this season, and it looks like the flowers are going to be orange. Other than that, the you could kind of see that the tips have turned purple and some of them are kind of burnt because of the sun. But before that, the all the aloes were just lime green, so it's nice to have the purple with the green, and that's because of stressing. I made another video talking about this plant, and right now I'm just waiting for it to grow a little bit more and kind of regain its pyramid pagoda type shapes. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this succulent. I like how I arranged these aeoniums in a ladder, but now that they're not dormant anymore, they're kind of overtaking the plant next to it, so I might end up putting them somewhere else in my garden. This is also one of my favorite succulents, mainly because of the color. It's the only succulent that I have that turns kind of like a deep red, and it actually gets redder than this with the sun. Um, it looks kind of like a cactus, but it is a succulent. And the really cool thing is that when I'm not sure if it's during blooming season, but it gets a lot of petals on the sides, and it makes it look a lot different. This one has been a bit disappointing because it used to be double in size, but the outer leaves have been rotting a lot, so I've been peeling them away. But the good thing is that it has a lot of little babies. I think there's 5 in total. So if the top one dies out, then I'll have a bunch left, so it doesn't really matter. Um, but they're still small, so I have to leave them for a while. I'm really happy with this one currently because it almost died out, but it looks really good right now. So I'm just gonna let it keep growing and spreading out. I really lucked out with this agave because it had 2 little babies in the pot when I bought it. So I'll have 3 plants in total when they get a little bit more mature. By the way, I buy most of my succulents at Home Depot just because it's the most convenient, and this one was $27. So with the little ones, it ends up being only $9 for each plant, which is really good. I also bought this agave at Home Depot for $27, so I made sure that it had a little baby so it wouldn't be as expensive overall. This one's a very common agave because it doesn't grow too big. Um, and I like how I placed it next to the other agave to kind of show the contrast between the blue and the greens. This is just a common little cactus that you would find at any garden store, but I wanted to add something different to my garden, so I bought it. I bought this cactus because I like the symmetry of the spines. I think they add a cool look to the garden, and also I know that at the base it grows new cacti, so eventually it'll look like they're clumping. This is actually the first agave that I bought, and it was only $12. It's different from the other ones because this one has stripes and they're all different colors, and also it throws off a lot of pups. You can kind of see that this plant is stressed because of the some of the leaves are turning yellow, but other than that it looks really healthy, and I'll probably leave all those little plants next to it because it looks better like that. This aloe is also a little bit stressed because of the sun, but it only turned a little bit red, so there's nothing wrong with it. I really like the color of this jade, and I hope it turns even more yellow with the sun, but I guess I'll just have to wait and see. This is also a crassula, but it has a very unique shape to it. I like how it's kind of green and then the tips are a little bit yellow and red. I've had a couple problems with it. You could kind of see at the bottom how a lot of the little leaves have been falling off. I don't know what it is, but hopefully it gets better. This crassula is very similar to the yellow crassula that I showed earlier, but I'm not sure if it's the exact same species because they have several names. Um, but it stayed mostly green, so it might be different. This aloe is different from the ones that I've shown so far because the leaves are very thin and kind of like papery. They don't retain a lot of water, so that's why they look like they've gotten burnt. So this is how it originally looked, but now they kind of grown really tall, and I think they're getting ready to bloom, so that's why they look like that. I'll probably end up moving them because they're a little too tall for the space for that arrangement, so I'll probably put them somewhere else, but it'll be nice to see what color the flowers are. So this ripple jade is really cool because of the shape of the leaves, and it also grows in like a bush shape, so it always keeps its form, and I'm hoping that it grows bigger so that I could start cutting off pieces and then put them in other places in the garden. This aloe doesn't really have anything special to it, but I like how the leaves grow in a star shape, so that's why I bought it. This echeveria is getting ready to bloom, so it'll be cool to see the flowers that pop out. And while I was looking under the leaves, it looked like there was something there, and it's actually a new plant, so it'll be cool to have another Echeveria cielo. This is currently my favorite succulent because it looks very interesting and unique. It almost looks like you would find it in the ocean with a bunch of fishes because of the textures and colors that it has. This plant looks a little bleached out because of the harsh sun, but with a little bit of shade it'll get better. You can also see some snail damage on the leaves, but the new growth looks fine. So this is what I call my sedum corner because I have a bunch of little sedum succulents bunched up together. I'm not going to talk about these individually, but if you have any questions about any single species, go ahead and comment on the video. This is a very common succulent in landscaping because it adds a lot of color to a garden, um, and it tends to grow really tall and wide. And it's actually my biggest plant at the moment. You could see some of the new growth at the tips. It kind of just grows upward, and it throws off like very tiny petals where the new growth is. You can see it here a little bit. So these are the two new plants that I got for the month of February. I got them at Home Depot actually, and they were on sale for $150 each. I think they were on clearance, so it ended up being a really good deal because they're usually $7. This first one is a Crassula ogre ears, and it looks like Shrek's ears, which I think is pretty cool. This other one is a tricolored jade, and it's a green jade, but it has some white stripes, and it also turns a bit purple, so I thought it was pretty cool.